Sunday is next.
All right, it's 11:30. Tampa Stadium is empty, but by 4 o'clock, that place is going to be jumping, folks. It's the Buccaneers 1995 home opener. Hi again, everyone. Good morning. It's Buccaneers Sunday, a very special day in Tampa. We have Rich McKay in the studio with us. We're going to catch up with Colin. Chip was already out at the stadium, got there rather early today. I think he was painting some of the lines there in the end zone. Are you all by yourself? I don't see anyone at all.
You know, there's supposed to be 74,301 people inside this stadium, Andy, but right now the only guy in it is me and some poor man who's got to paint the roof over there. It's probably about 148 degrees on top of that building. Actually, the only reason why people aren't in here right now is because they haven't unlocked the gates, but you can bet this place will be screaming later on, Andy. Coming up, we'll take a look at Eric Rett off the field and also hear some remarkable statements from a former Buck, Marty Carter. He says the Bucs will go flat this afternoon. He predicts it.
Flat? Sounds like something Spindler would say.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's right. We can tell you this, too, Chip, that for the 45th time in franchise history, the Bucs have sold out a football game. 31st time the TV blackout has been lifted, so you'll see the game right here on Channel 13, 4 o'clock. Going to be a full house today. 74,301 tickets gone. The fans in the ball yard and the ones watching Channel 13 in for a big day. You're going to see a couple of 1-1 teams today fighting for first place. Not all the fans, though, will be cheering for the Buccaneers. That's right. The Bears always brought some of their faithful down. Plus, there's a large group of Bear fans who call the Bay Area home. Still, this is going to be a huge day for the Buccaneers.
There's going to be definitely a sense of excitement there, and we're going to feel it, and I hope they feed off us as we feed off them.
What more could you ask for? I mean, we watch Selman Day, everything.
I have a couple of questions going into the ball game today. Let's get the latest status report. First of all, one is the same as last week. Alvin Harper is the wide receiver hurt. We know he worked out Thursday, went through the light workout Friday. Still not 100%, and we're going to find out soon if he'll be used today. Scott Dill, question mark. The right tackle suffered a broken left hand in the Cleveland game. He's been fitted for a special cast. He's listed as doubtful. Yep, the weather, unbearable, hot and sticky, and that's in the Bucs' favor. Tampa Bay has won the last 2 of 3 at Tampa Stadium. Bears have been at home for the first 2 games this year in cool Chicago. As a matter of fact, last week, you might recall, they played a game on Monday night. Some key factors today. Let's go back now to the stadium. Chip Carter is there for a little breakdown on today's game, what we're going to see.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Andy. Heat will definitely be a factor because last week when I was up in Cleveland, it was about 45 degrees 2 hours before they kicked it off. Now temperatures expected to be about 118 on the field with a heat factor. You know, this is the 35th time these two teams have met. It is the biggest game on the Buccaneers' schedule twice a year. It's a divisional game. It's a big rivalry, and both teams feel they have what it takes to win when it goes between the lines. Marty Carter is coming home in a Bear uniform. The former Buck free safety told us he knows exactly how to beat the Bucs.
Early in the game, that's when they like to score. And if they don't score, they're kind of flat. They don't really, they're not into it as much. And that's a key thing you got to fight against them scoring early in the game.
Scoring early has been a bear of a problem for Chicago in their first 2 games. And you know a visiting team wants to score early and take the crowd out.
I think for our own psyche, I think it would be very beneficial to get out to a quick start and get some pressure on them because, I think that would take some heat off our own defense.
Plenty of heat is what Chicago wants to put on Trent Dilfer after seeing what Cleveland did with their pass rush. Joe Kane is Chicago's Hardy Nickerson.
He's a young quarterback. We're basically going to do the same things that we would do against Brett Favre or anyone else. It's just that with a young guy, you hope that you can rattle him a lot more and get him to throw you a couple of balls.
That in mind, we have to stuff the running game first, force them into sure passing situations. In those situations, they don't do anything but pass the football. They're not one to screen or draw, do anything like that. So, we have to force them into those situations, and hopefully, when we get those guys in this situation, we can get a rush on them, get some turnovers, and have some fun out there.
Have some fun out here. I think that's the key this afternoon, Andy. The numbers bear repeating, 74,301. And the last time they had that number here in Tampa Stadium, last game of the year against Green Bay, and they obviously want a different result from that last sellout.
Yeah, from what we learned in that report, it appears the Bears have the offense that's very predictable, and the Bucs coming into this one are the big play team.
I think you've got the roles exactly right. I mean, Sam White, the running game, the no-huddle, the way he works some of the passes, especially with Copeland. Harper is not a known factor at this time, so the Bears aren't exactly sure what Tampa Bay wants to do this afternoon.
All right, stick around, Chip. We'll have some folks out there for you
All
in
right.
just a while. The pizza guy's coming, too. Still a lot to come on this edition of Buck Sunday. Eric Rett. If the guy's such a bad swimmer, why does he even bother getting into the pool? We're going to answer that riddle for you. And also, what a shock for Lonnie Martz when the team came back from Cleveland. His daughter now has a brother. And we're going to get Rich McKay to tell us whether or not something like this right here, not Rich in his office, but this, should cause a team to lose 6 points. Don't go anywhere. Rich and I will be right back. All right, we're back looking live at Tampa Stadium. Again, a 4 o'clock game, so the fans will arrive about 3 minutes before kickoff time. Time now to get our report from the top. This is a little segment we do every week with the general manager of the football club, Rich McKay, who didn't do it on tape. Decided to come in and join us live this morning. Get you up bright and early.
Happy to be here, Andy. Looking forward to a game today that I think a lot of people have a lot of fun at. The Glazers are going to create an environment in the stadium that I think the fans haven't seen in a long time.
It's a big day. It's a Leroy Selman day.
It's Leroy Selman Day. He's obviously the best player that's ever played in this franchise history. He's also what everything that's good about sports is all about. I mean, he's just a fine individual.
It's amazing. The guy's been around 20 years, and it's like just in the last couple of weeks we found out he was here.
Well, my dad said the other day, he told me, I'm getting tired of Leroy Selman. It seems like in the last 3 months that's all we've been talking about. But I'll tell you, he deserves all the credit he gets because he wasn't just a great player. He's really a good person and a solid person for this community. What he's done for USF, obviously, he deserves credit for that, too.
He may be a coach.
He may be a coach.
That's right.
We'll have to see.
Sellout crowd today, and let's face it, it went down to the wire, but this should have been sold out long before it was.
Yeah, except it's hard. I mean, we've got to earn the fans back. I mean, we know that. Basically, when you have a season ticket base of 32,000, you have a lot of tickets to sell. And we had to sell over 40,000 single-game tickets. It took us some time, but that's our problem. We've got to bring those fans back. We've got to win football games to do it.
Alvin Harper, we talked about this at the outset. The status now, he worked out a little bit Thursday. Friday, he went through the light workout, the walkthrough. Are we going to see the guy for the entire game for once?
We'll see. I think that Sam's position, and we've talked about it long and hard, is if Alvin's not 100%, Alvin's not going to play because basically you play 16 games. This is only week 3. The last thing we want to do is have something that lingers into the midseason. So I think we would like to wait and see how he feels this morning. I think, in fact, he's going to run a little this morning and see how it feels. It felt good on Thursday. It's been a little sore yesterday.
But we know from the first 2 games he's not the only receiver on that club.
That's correct. We've got some guys that can get it done.
That's right. Got to ask you, too, about Reggie Cobb. His status, the deal there about Reggie
Well,
coming
we've talked
back.
to Reggie. I've talked to Reggie's agent a couple times, and we will continue to talk. Basically, right now, we're at a point where we really don't want to make a lot of roster moves in season if we don't have to. Reggie would be a guy that could come in and help us as a backup to Eric and give us some stability at the position. Though I'll tell you the truth, Jerry Elson's done a nice job. Mm-hmm. So we've basically said, hey, we'll bring Reggie in down the road here, give him a physical, see how he is physically, and then we'll see what happens.
Hardy Nickerson, his contract.
Well, we've talked a couple times, and basically what Eugene Parker and I have agreed upon is we don't want to distract Hardy with respect to football. Hardy's a very focused individual, wants to focus on the game. We'll talk some more probably in the next week or two. I would certainly hope and expect that Hardy Nickerson will be a Buccaneer next season.
That's good news, too. I've got to ask you, too, about this crazy rule. You're not on the competition committee, are you, by chance?
Somebody said I was, but maybe for this question I'm not.
Okay. About the Deion Sanders thing. He comes in, he does the dance, and now we find there's a rule that if you do one of these dances in the end zone, you can take the 6 points off the scoreboard. If you score a touchdown and do one of these numbers, you can take 6 off. Is that right?
All I know is this. You've never seen it enforced, and I don't think you ever will. I never have understood the celebration rule. It's changed about 4 different times, and I think basically where the committees come out and where the officials have come out is we've got a rule. It's not necessarily going to be enforced.
All right. Now, a big game today. You move into first place if you win it. Then you look down the road the schedule's getting a little easier. And a lot of those games are at home, so hey.
Well, let's just let you look down the road. We're going to focus at 4 o'clock.
One at a time, right?
This will, one of the old one at a time cop-out. But I will say this will be a fun game. This is a game that the players have really kind of directed their efforts towards. I mean, the last 3 weeks, yes, you've been on the road 2 weeks, but this is the big one. We got home 1-1. Like to be 2-0, but not displeased to be 1-1. But today will be an interesting test.
This is not the same Bear team, it doesn't seem to me, as when Ditka was there. The same kind of, I'm not saying that Dave's a bad coach or anything, but it's kind of evened out here. I mean, the Bears don't
Yeah, they're pretty good, though, Andy, because the one thing the Bears give you is they give you 60 minutes of incredible intensity. And I think the Packers learned that last week. The Packers jumped all over them. It looked like the game was over. They had just that little break where they just took about 5 minutes off, and the next thing you know, the Bears were all over them. And if the Bears get it in from the 2-yard line, they win the game. So that this Bear team is a good Bear team. They do have one consistent philosophy that just seems to go through the Bears forever, which is intensity. They never quit. It's 60 minutes of war.
All right, well, we have to stop right now. We'll see you next week. We'll see you at the game today.
I'll be there.
And we'll join you next week. All right, let's go back out to the stadium. Chip is standing by. Chip, for somebody that wants a big game today, I guess it would be Eric Rhett, because, first of all, he hasn't seen that much action against the Bears. I think he's carried the ball like something like 24 times in the 2 games, 69 yards. He could do that in the first quarter today.
Oh, yeah, especially if the Bears don't throw everybody in with a blitz. That way he doesn't have to beat 4 or 5 guys before he even gets in the secondary. You know, Andy, Eric Rhett is a player who definitely puts his game face on when he comes into this stadium. But when you get him out of uniform, when you get him away from the X's and O's, when you get him at home, he softens quite a bit. In fact, when you take a look at him behind the mask. Rhett's Rottweiler Q hates the water, doesn't go near it. But if Q thinks his master is drowning, even if Q saves Rhett's life, the only Rottweiler that gets close to Eric's shoes is this one. Alligator, crocodile, ostrich. Rhett is the Imelda Marcos of the NFL, and his teammates bust him on it all the time. So how stacked is his closet?
About 20 pairs, and that's a large amount. You know, a lot of people don't pay that much, for shoes. For alligator skins, they last you a long time, but, I mean, you're going to spend close to $1,200 for a pair of shoes sometimes. And I like sandals a lot, and the guys really tease me because, sandals, the average pair of sandals cost you about $75, and I spend maybe like $600-700 for a pair of sandals. But, they're going to last a long time,
Wearing these shoes, he's a punishing player, but a softie at home.
My mom is very close to me. I mean, it's a lot of, I'm sure a lot of football players, it's your all-time goal to take care of your mother. And so finally, when you get that opportunity, that's what I'm like, Well, my mother doesn't want anything. And that's the most difficult thing about the situation right there. You finally made it big, and you like to give back to your family. My mother doesn't want nothing. She wants to give to me still.
Rhett gave his mom a present money can't buy, a college degree.
Ever since you were small, your goal is to one day graduate from college. I mean, knowing that, you finally made it to the NFL, and a lot of people don't go back and get their degrees, but it meant a lot to me. You satisfy your mom, your dad, hey, I got my degree.
Rhett's as devoted to his mom as Q is to Eric. And if Q could run block, Rhett would go untouched. I'm telling you, that dog had a pretty fierce look, Andy. One other thing that's kind of cute about Eric's Rhett's mother, even after he signed that multi-million-dollar deal as a rookie, she continued to send him money every week for the first year he's in the NFL.
And he didn't send it back.
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah, and another thing about Hugh, he had to take the thing to the game with him. That way, if the linebackers come in and stuff Eric once in a while, he just, help! And the dog comes in and gets the linebacker.
That'd be great.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it's illegal, though.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
think it is.
All right. We're going to be back with a lot more coming up on Sports Sunday. A visit to the Martz family that increased by 25% while the Bucs were up in Cleveland. We'll explain that. And in case you missed the big college game day yesterday, you won't want to miss our state's Big 3, which was actually Big 2 yesterday. We're going to check the Gators and the Knowles. That'll be in about 6 minutes. But when we come right back, we're going to go out to Colin Cowherd. Somewhere he's at a tailgate party, inundated by all those fans who have been in the stadium all morning. So we'll see how he's holding up. Stay with us. getting a place to park. Some even buying souvenirs out there. Game time, 4 o'clock. Colin Cowherd, apparently some pregame party. A little celebrating, I understand, too, Colin, while you're out there. For a Buccaneer who came back from Cleveland. Hey, don't forget to form 2 lanes there, by the way, bud.
It was the worst week of Lonnie March's season. Of course, it's only 2 weeks old. As you take a look, this is Tampa Road, Andy, south of the Big Sombrero, where they're filing in right now. We're 4 hours to kickoff. You know this is a big game, and we're already jam-packed, people filing in. As our photographer, Jeff Tewksbury, here follows me back as we take a look at some of the Bears fans, who are mostly Bears fans at this point, and they're living, folks. They're doing what you do with an NFL game before it starts. You know, it wasn't the most, I can't think of a player for the Bucs who had a more difficult assignment than Lonnie March last week. It really wasn't about who he had to guard or who he was watching out for in coverage. It was who he had his mind on, and that was the next Lonnie March.
Lonnie March's house is the easiest one to spot on the block. Last Sunday, as March was battling the Browns, wife Gian was delivering Lonnie the third.
To tell you the truth, I got sidetracked after every play.
By the time Lonnie was flying back home, he had the news. It was a beautiful, bouncing boy.
Everybody on the plane's upset, you know, because we lost, but I'm still, you know, kind of beaming because I'm like, yeah, hey, I got a boy. Just get me home. Just get me home.
This is the March second child, but the first delivered during the season, and it's leaving poor Lonnie lifeless.
Now it's almost like I have no energy when I come home, so you got to make other arrangements, and it's very tough because you want to be there the same way you was with the first one, but impossible.
But Lonnie and the in-laws spent Friday afternoon fawning over the little fella. Game balls in the background, Game Boy in the foreground. As for the possibility of others to join the March team, Mom sounds excited.
Probably another one.
As for Dad, hopefully it will come during the off-season.
Hey, by the way, we found the smartest people in the parking lot. Roof in hand, roof in tow. These folks are from Tampa. They are from Illinois, originally live in Tampa. Give us a prediction.
I think the Bears are going to pretty well take it away today. I do believe.
All right, that's all the time we're giving him. If he had predicted Bucs, we'd have given him a few more seconds, but he went with Bears, Andy.
He said they're going to take it away. Do they have air conditioning in that tent?
There's not air conditioning for 100 miles.
Well, see, that's the problem. The heat got to them already.
That's right. Yeah, it did.
All right, we'll catch up with you later. All right. Still time to talk about the big game today. We're going to do that. We go back to the stadium, get some insightful thoughts from Chip and Colin on the matchup today. The Noles and the Gators started the week 1 and 4 in the nation. In case you missed yesterday's action, don't miss our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, press box, everything in line at Tampa Stadium. All we need now is kickoff time. That's coming up at 4 o'clock. The Bears in town, both clubs 1-1. The big three in college football, actually yesterday were the big two. Miami Hurricanes had the week off, and they said they could use it, and we believe them. Florida State's first team could have taken the week off, too. The Noles, a big day. They scored first. They scored last. They scored just about every time in between. Danny Cannell, 4 touchdown passes, and that was just in the first half. Florida State 77-17 over North Carolina State. Meantime, the Gators had a tougher time with nationally ranked Tennessee. The Volunteers jumped out 30-14 when Raymond Austin scooped up a fumble, and he'll take it 46 yards. So it appeared up in Gainesville, the Gators were in trouble. But Danny Werfel came through, a half a dozen touchdown passes. That's right, 6 TD passes for him yesterday. That's a school record. The Gators engulfed the Volunteers 62-37. You might want to get an extra scoreboard ready when the Seminoles and Gators hook up. That game just won't handle one scoreboard. All right, let's go back out to the stadium now because Jeff Ryan is standing by. Jeff, a member of the WQYK radio team. Apparently Dave Logan is still trying out for the team. That's why he's not with us today. Is he working out? Does he really want to come back?
Boy, I tell you what, he's in such great shape. He probably could come back. We always tease him about it, but I don't think so. Not yet anyway. I hope not. I don't want to lose him.
All right, now, what do you think of the game today? We talked about the Bucs and the Bears, both 1-1, a key game. Look at both schedules. It's a little easier after this week for the team that wins it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Chicago Bears really want this game. This is their 3rd division game, and they are 1-1 right now. If they lose this ball game, they're 1-2. Now, this is the first one for the Bucs, and wouldn't it be nice to go ahead and get one from the Bears, because the Bucs have to go up to Chicago in December. With being Leroy Selmon Day, a win would be absolutely fantastic. So I think the pressure's more on the Bears than the Bucs.
Yeah, and you remember, too, when we had that stretch. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, 12. They won 12 in a row. The Bears won 12 in a row. That no longer exists. We have parity now in the Central. You look at Detroit at 0-2. They could be 2-0. The Bucs could be 0-2. Chicago could be 0-2. You never know week to week who's going to be on top in this division.
Well, the interesting part about this division is how many went to the playoffs last year. 9-7 seems to be the key. 10-6, most definitely, I think they're going to be going to the playoffs. The Bucs, I think they have their control of their own destiny right now. So I think if they can go one game at a time, and Sam has told me that's all he's worried about is the Chicago team. Chicago's the kind of team, you look at them on paper, you don't see that many great stars, but you know what, Andy? They win.
Yeah, yep. That's happened before. Jeff, thank you much. We'll see you next week.
We're ready to go.
All right.
Okay.
Good luck today, buddy.
Thanks.
NFL weekend just beginning. Don't forget, when we wrap it up here, the fearsome foursome out in Hollywood takes over for an hour. Fox NFL Sunday is waiting in the wings, folks, so stay put. All right, another live shot at Tampa Stadium. Actually, on Friday, a little sprucing up to do out there, which, by the way, is the finest playing surface we have in the National Football League. Players will tell you that. Officials will tell you that. The crew had to put the final touches on the field there, and it's about time for us to do the same thing with this week's show. We're going back now to the stadium. Chip Carter standing by there. Has it warmed up since you started?
Oh, Andy, good color choice today, too. A good dark navy blue blazer really soaks that heat in, so I know exactly what those Chicago Bear players will feel like by about, 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Now, another thing, too, is the Bears will be wearing the black, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. They come in with the dark jerseys and Tampa Bay in that pristine white, so you know that heat is just going to be soaking in. They're going to be like little charcoal briquettes by the end of this one.
Yeah. Now, we know this is the Bucs' first home game of '95, but still, I would think the Glazers are a little uptight, a little excited about this thing.
You would think they would have to be. Not only is it a sellout, but, I mean, they start with one of their biggest rivals of the entire year. It's also a division game, so everybody else in the division has played somebody. This is a very big, you hate to use the word must-win situation for Tampa because it's so overused, but it really is a must-win situation.
All right, now here's the thing, too. If it stays close, the key is the fourth quarter.
Right.
Because the heat should take its effect on the Bears, you would think.
You would think so, and also what they can kind of leapfrog off of in terms of momentum, Andy, is that 5 out of their next 6 games are right here in Tampa Stadium, so they could really start a pretty strong streak here this afternoon.
All right, let's hope so. Chip, thanks a lot.
You got it.
Take the jacket off right now.
I'm getting it off, buddy.
All right, don't forget, next week, 11:30, we'll be back here. The Washington Redskins will be at Tampa Stadium. That'll be a 1 o'clock game. But right now, stay tuned for JB, Terry, Howie, Jimmy Johnson's out there. NFL Fox Sunday is next from Hollywood, USA. That's it. Have a good weekend.
This is a Fox Sports presentation.
The snow up here in the winter and rushes down Rocky Mountain streams in the spring. These days, we like to remember all that with a little picture right in the center of our label.
Well, it is hot here in Tampa, Florida. It is hot. There's a little breeze through the ballpark, mostly sunny. And we are ready for football. A look at the early game. Oakland and Kansas City tied late. Green Bay beating the Giants. St. Louis all over Carolina. San Diego leading Philadelphia late. Atlanta and New Orleans tied late. Detroit leading Arizona late. In the fourth quarter, Indianapolis trailing at Buffalo and Cleveland leading in Houston, but only by 7. Kenny Gant saying, let me hear you. Getting ready to roll here at Tampa Stadium, and we're glad you're with us. Michael Husted about ready to kick it away. And as you look into the faces of these players, this is one game that maybe in years past was taken lightly coming into Tampa Bay. That is not the case any longer.
I think teams all over the league became accustomed to taking the Buccaneers lightly, but there really is a sense around the entire National Football League this year that Tampa Bay is evolving into a team that is going to have to be reckoned with.
Little delay at the start as we get ready, and again a sellout crowd, but as people watching in Chicago would know, a lot of Bears fans, but this year a little different than in years past. Bears fans dominated by Buccaneers fans here at Tampa Stadium. Ugly kick, and the Bears will start out with great field position at their own 40. Give you a look at Eric Kramer as he leads the Bears onto the field. Eric Kramer, the third-rated quarterback in the NFC. In fact, he made his Chicago debut last year in the opener against Tampa Bay. Up front protecting him, this offensive line has done great work. Great work. The backs and receivers, Green and Carter in the backfield. Graham and Conway, the wideouts, and the tight end is Keith Jennings. But, Tim, you and I both believe that Chris Gedney might have his coming-out party for 1995 today.
Well, he's the one guy that Dave Wannstedt says that the Bears need to get into the game plan. He's the one talent that Wannstedt feels they're not taking full advantage of.
Officials had a tough time spotting the ball at the 40. That's where the Bears get it after Husted kicked it out of bounds. We're ready to go. First play, a pass. Graham on the far side, brought down right at midfield. Right at the first down marker. Give you a look at the Tampa Bay defense. Up front, Curry, Sapp, Wheeler, Ahanotu, and Ahanotu has really played well against the run. The linebackers, Brooks, Nickerson, and Martz. And the secondary, they will be tested, especially on the corners today. Magruder and Dimry, Everett and Lynch, the safeties. First down. Graham picked up the first down in that first throw. And now Green breaks it across the 45 and brought down around the 43. You like Robert Green.
Well, you talked about his elusiveness, and you saw it right there. He had someone on him after about 3 yards. He took him for a few more and turned what could be just an average gain into a big game. I like this guy. He's slippery through the hole.
8-yard pickup on first down. 2 plays, 2 successful plays so far for the Bears. 2 tight ends set into the game. Wet night in motion. Little play action. Kramer has time and has his man wide open. That's Conway. Down at the 21-yard line, and we thought that these Bears receivers would have a big day against these Tampa Bay cornerbacks. So far, 2 for 2.
It's got to be a great temptation for the Bears today to take Curtis Conway, who is emerging as a legitimate receiver, big-time receiver, and Jeff Graham, and run them against those Tampa Bay cornerbacks. Charles Dimmery, who's not been tremendously strong, and then a banged-up third-string guy on the other side. There's Ron Turner, and they will run the ball today.
As they do right here. Rashaan Salaam brings it down to the 15. And so far, every play has been for 5 or more yards. That was a pickup of 6 and a 2nd and 4 coming up for Chicago.
We talked about the Bears being explosive, and they certainly are being explosive right now, giving defensive coordinator for the Bucs, Ron Tillman, really, Rusty Tillman fits. Rusty's right in the middle there, the guy without the headsets.
He doesn't like all that stuff going on in his ears. I'm sure he doesn't like what he's seeing. 2nd down and 4. Inside handoff, not much. Salaam again.
That's about the 3rd time the Bears have run that play, and it's worked every time until now. Now the Buccaneers defense has figured out when the tight end or the fullback does that motion and hovers behind the line of scrimmage, that's exactly where the ball is going to be run.
Rashaan Salaam this season, you see the 3 touchdowns. That's number 2 in the NFL behind Emmitt Smith. Robert Green checks back in. He's the lone setback. 3rd and 4. side, handoff to Green. Brought down around the 10 and another Chicago first down, and that's how much confidence they have in Robert Green.
And that's the beauty in Robert Green, because he is the third down receiver. He's a legitimate threat at receiver. But, hey, you can line up in a pass formation, hand the ball off to him, and he's got the elusive. Watch how quick he hits that hole. Just one step, and he's gone. He picks up the first down.
Beating Hardy Nickerson to that hole. Robert Green last week. Pretty good week. He's in the backfield again. He gets it again, a little cutback. And brought down at the 7-yard line.
Larry Crooks making the tackle.
The Bears can get a first down without getting the ball into the end zone. It would be tight. And Sam Weiss, not a good start for the Tampa Bay defense, as the Bears have taken the opening kickoff and marched it right down the field.
I'm sure the Bears and Dave Wannstedt would like to get a first down, even though it's tight, because that's just going to eat up the clock all the more.
That's what they talk about so much, eating up the clock and controlling the football. Play action. Kramer just throws it away. And a 3rd and 6 coming up for Chicago.
Pressure on the quarterback by Chidi Ahanotu.
Chidi Ahanotu had pressure up in Eric Kramer's face.
The Bucs brought a lot of players at Kramer all across the line. They picked it up except for Chidi. Chidi beat his guy. He got up in Kramer's face and made him throw it away. There's Chidi.
He checks out. 6 defensive backs check into the game on 3rd and 6. And Kramer needs a timeout. For the first time, you have to deal with crowd noise. Kramer and the Bears had a tough time setting up. They spend their first timeout. 3rd and 6 facing Chicago when we return.
It's just like a dream you can hold in your hands. Taurus stole your heart once, it'll steal it again. Taurus, making the dream come true.
And now for something new. It's Cooking with Terry and Howard.
First, you need to get a very large bowl and 1 bag of Lay's potato chips. Now, gently pour it into bowl and let stand for 4 to 5 seconds. Here's one I prepared earlier.
I, on the other hand, like to experiment a little more than our friend Terry here. I recommend a bag of wavy Lays.
Next week's show, how to pour beer. For today's recipe, write the Lay's and Wavy Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't eat just one.
で、お子さんたち新しいコンピューター気に入ったの？
それがまだ立ち上げてないんだ。何しろ僕は不器用なもんでね。
うちじゃアクティバがみんなに大人気。IBM のホームコンピューター、CD ラムがついてて、トップトップいっぱいあるし、箱から出してすぐ使えるようになってるんですよ。
単位でもセットアップできるってわけ？
腕はいらないのよ。
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Coors Light. Shipped cold to preserve the clean taste of the Rockies. Coors Light, tap the Rockies. By Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By IBM, solutions for a small planet. And by Smith Barney, a member of the Travelers Group. Smith Barney, they make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
Well, what a difference from Monday night. The Bears hardly caught their breath. Looked up on the scoreboard. Green Bay was up 21-0. This starting drive, 8 plays covering 53 yards, and they're mixing it up. 5 on the ground, 3 in the air.
Yeah, this is the antithesis of Monday night, because the Packers did this exact same thing to the Bears offense. Move down the field, Bears defense, move down the field at will.
3rd down and 6. That's Green in motion and Kramer to throw. Back of the end zone and no one there. Kramer had a little pressure in his face, got rid of it, and it's time for the field goal unit for Chicago. So the Bears will try to put up the first points of the day as they check in Kevin Butler, who's been perfect this year. has not been tested deep yet. 24-yard try here. Good snap, good hold, good kick. And Kevin Butler puts Chicago on top. And a much better start on Sunday than Monday night. The Bears strike first in Tampa Bay.
I got it.
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies!
Have you had your break today, yeah?
There are a lot of reasons we created Ford Windstar with so much passenger and cargo room. A lot of reasons we gave Windstar a wide stance for secure handling. And reasons it has standard dual airbags, standard anti-lock brakes, plus the government's highest front crash test rating. We'd be glad to name all the reasons, but you've already named them. Ford Windstar, created for the most important people in the world.
Give someone their own TV show and they think they own the place.
Hey, Mr. Madden, please, out of the pie area. Come on, John.
Do something. Series premiere October 1st.
Kevin Butler good from 24, and the Bears take a 3-0 first quarter lead, and Dilfer about to head onto the field.
Yeah, he looks nice and calm. Now, Sam Weiss says that he likes to give Dilfer a shot in the helmet and give him his last words of encouragement, and those are be aggressive.
Butler kicks it away. It's a Sauerbrunn, and Bobby Joe Edmonds on the return, brought down at the 25-yard line. And here comes Dilfer. Be aggressive, Trent. That's what Sam says. And we'll see if that's what Trent does. Tampa Bay offense heads onto the field. Trent Dilfer. Couple of touchdown throws, 3 interceptions, protecting him. They had a tough week last week in Cleveland. Dilfer sacked 7 times. Pearson getting the start at right tackle in place of Scott Dill. Rhett and Moore. Moore will line up in the backfield or as a tight end. And then the receivers in the Buccaneers today without Alvin Harper, the free agent pickup. He's out with a bad ankle. Armstrong in motion, and this is Brett. Brought down at the 30 by John Theory. Pickup of 5 on the first hand to Eric Rhett.
Well, one of the ways the Buccaneers are going to help Pete Pearson on Alonzo Spellman, 90 right there for the Bears, is a double team. You see there the chip block. Pearson hits Spellman, and then Ty J. Armstrong comes and wipes him up.
Second down for Tampa Bay. On 2nd and 5, the toss to Rhett. There is nothing there. Ron Cox there to meet Rhett. Ron Cox, one of the linebackers on this Chicago defense up front. Theory, Zorich, Simpson, and Spellman will see a lot of Jim Flanagan today. The linebackers, Smith, Kane in the middle. Ron Cox made that last tackle. And then in the secondary, the safeties, Marty Carter, the former Buccaneer, along with Carrier, the corners, Wolford and Lincoln. A loss of 5 on that carry by Rhett. 3rd down and 11 coming up. Dilfer's first throw skips in there. Lamar Thomas, the intended receiver, and 3 plays and out for the Tampa Bay offense.
This is exactly the way the Chicago Bears not only wanted, but needed to start defensively this game. Monday night, the Green Bay Packers' first 4 drives came away with scores on each one of them. nothing's better for a defense than an initial 3-and-out start.
Reggie Roby back to punt, 4 bunts. And Graham on the return, brought down at the 30, and there's Kenny Gant. The only reason, or the predominant reason he's on this team, is exactly what he just did.
Well, the Bears put Dwayne Joseph, their cornerback, one-on-one with Kenny Gant, and you can't do it against a special teams guy like this.
Gant makes the play. Bears get it back. They lead by 3 here in the first quarter.
Nice pants.
Dockers, flat front khakis.
So, how do we service the first car today? By the book. Greet them on the drive.
Into the bay.
Hood up, filter fluids.
Lube, tires, windows, vacuum.
Quality inspection. And how do we do the last car? Greet them on the drive.
Into the bay.
Hood up, filter fluids.
Lube, tires, windows, vacuum.
Quality inspection.
The Jiffy Lube system. By the book. 50,000 times a day. And Jiffy Lube offers Pennzoil. Jiffy Lube, the world's most experienced oil changers. That's why if it doesn't say Jiffy Lube, it just isn't Jiffy Lube.
At Cigna, we care about people who have babies. We care about companies that make steel and about companies that make bread. We care about life and about all that makes life great or possible or just better. At Cigna, we care because it is our business to care. But we also care because, well, we have babies too. Cigna, a business of caring.
It's the biggest event since Jurassic Park.
There she blows!
Al's mother-in-law moves in on the season premiere of Married with Children tonight.
Big matchup today, Conway and Magruder. Magruder, in essence, the 4th cornerback on this Tampa Bay club. He's been hit by injury. First carry brought across the 30. Tackle made by Ahanatu. As Rashaan Salam picked up a couple for the Chicago Bears.
Derek Brooks for the Buccaneers at the top of the screen knows right where this ball is coming. He knows it's coming behind the lead back. And he comes up, he takes out the lead blocker. The rest of the Bucs swarm.
2nd down and 7. Setting up a screen, nothing there. And right in the middle of it, Derek Brooks.
Well, Brooks uses his quickness, and more importantly, he uses his savvy. And you say, savvy, this guy's only a rookie, but he's a rookie who's already playing like a veteran. There he is in the middle of the screen, 55. He sees Salam, and he senses and feels that screen. He gets right out there into the middle of it and fouls the whole thing up. That makes Kramer hesitate, and that's why Kramer can't get the ball off.
3rd down and 7. To the tight end, well short of a first down. Ryan Wednight with a catch in time for the Bears to punt.
I say Eric Kramer cannot make that throw on 3rd when he needs the distance. Forget the tight end, get it downfield, because you've got Graham and you've got Conway, and those guys have the ability to get open on this depleted Tampa Bay secondary.
Bobby Joe Edmonds waiting, running for the punt from Sauerbrunn. It takes a very good hop for the Bears. And Edmonds from inside his 20. Guy who was out of football for 5 years carries it across the 20. And the Buccaneers will get it for the 2nd time after the 48-yard punt and the 4-yard return by Bobby Joe Edmonds. And there's the rookie just 2 days ago. Was taped to the goalpost during practice by the veteran.
Well, he was. I mean,
something's always going to happen to you as a rookie. You're going to get taped to the goalpost. You're going to get atomic bomb put in your shorts when you're out in practice. You know, they're going to tape up your helmet, something. But as I said a few minutes ago, this guy, Derek Brooks, is playing like a veteran. And besides the shenanigans of getting taped to the goalpost, his teammates are treating him like a veteran.
First down from just across the 20. Dilfer airs it out down the sideline. Donnell Wolford with great coverage on Lawrence Dawson.
The temptation after last week against Cleveland and the Bucs getting blitzed is to blitz Trent Dilfer. But Dave Wannstedt believes that his secondary can match and run with these Tampa Bay receivers. And there you see Wolford doing just that, running with the receiver. Excellent coverage.
Dilfer 0 for 2, second down and 10. Dilfer buys time and then fires it to Rhett. There is no way you're going to hang on to that ball. That's just too hard.
That's a coverage sack, or not a sack, but that's a big coverage play because Dilfer had nowhere to go at all. The thing Dilfer has to do is take some of the Tabasco sauce off of that ball. That was a short ball, not even an intermediate ball, a short ball, and he needs to ease that in there.
6 defensive backs check into the game for Chicago. Bobby Joe Edmonds in the backfield with Dilfer. 3rd and 10. Dilfer finds Hawkins. And the first Tampa Bay first down. 17-yard pickup on 3rd and 10.
The Chicago Bears defense bet on coverage on this play, and they lost. Only 3 guys in the pass rush, 8 guys out to cover the receiver.
And with that no-huddle offense, penalty flags, there must be 30 of them on the field. An incomplete play, and we'll check the marker. I mean, there are flags everywhere on the field. There's 3 of them inside the 40 and 45-yard lines, then 1 on the far side of the field. And the Bears were caught substituting and having too many men on the field.
And Sam Weiss loves to do that. Dave Wannstedt hates it.
Defense, too many men on the field. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Sam loves to trick opposing coaches who try to make substitutions on him with his no-huddle offense.
So 1st and 5 for the Buccaneers. And the day for Dilfer, only 1 out of 4. Play action to Red. Dilfer airs it out. Wolford there for the interception. His 2nd of the year.
And that is exactly why Dave Wannstedt said, we will let Trent Dilfer air it out against us. I like that matchup on Dilfer's arm against Donnell Wolford, Mark Carrier, Marty Carter. I like that matchup. I'll take it. We're going to come away with some big plays, and that's exactly what they do.
Dilfer throws his 4th interception of the season against only 2 touchdowns. And Wolford was really the only one there to make the catch. Take a break, come back. Bears get it back. They lead by 3 here in the first quarter. The first turnover of the day.
It's just like a dream you can hold in your hand. Taurus stole your heart once, it'll steal it again. Taurus, making the dream come true.
On Friday, September 29th, in the final confrontation with Michael Myers, the secret of his evil will be revealed. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, rated R, starts Friday, September 29th.
If you don't replace your air and oil filters regularly, you might as well drive your car off a cliff, because dirt can really mess up an engine. Fram Extra Life air filters and Fram Extra Guard oil filters keep out dirt best to protect your engine. Fram, America's #1 premium brand. Pay a little now or a lot later.
Buy any 2 Fram filters and get your favorite officially licensed NFL team cap for $1.99.
There's a place in the Big Apple where New Yorkers rush to be on the cutting edge. It's Jean-Louis David, a touch of Paris right in the middle of Manhattan. So if you're looking for a new you, drop in anytime at any of their locations. You don't need an appointment, just your Visa card. Because when it comes to your hair and Jean-Louis David, American Express just won't cut it. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Well, Trent Dilfer may not be in Sam Weich's doghouse for that last throw because when the receiver is running even with the defensive back, Trent Dilfer is taught at times to underthrow that ball and let the receiver come back. However, Horace Copeland, 88, does not come back. It's Donnell Wolford who comes back and brings that ball down.
Gets the interception. Dilfer 1 out of 5 with the interception. 2 tight ends into the game for Chicago. On first down, Kramer puts it up. To the sideline, Conway was all alone, but Kramer overshoots it.
This Tampa Bay defensive line is doing a fine job of putting pressure on Eric Kramer. You have to remember that the Bears' offensive line in the past 2 weeks has faced Minnesota, they faced Green Bay, 2 real strong defensive lines. If they came into this game thinking that they could take a day off, they're finding out that that's absolutely wrong.
Kramer has been sacked 3 times this season. That's it. 2nd and 10. That's Gedney in motion. Green, a couple. Time now for an update on Kansas City. A McDonald's game break back to Hollywood.
Joe, it was overtime between Oakland and Kansas City. Hostetler throws a pick to James Hasty. That's because Tim Brown was knocked down by the official. Nonetheless, Hasty's 63-yard interception return for the TD. KC 8th victory in a row over the Raiders. Back to Joe and Tim.
2 weeks in a row. An overtime victory for Kansas City.
Steve Bono starting to look very good.
3rd down and 8 for Chicago. Kramer to the sideline, nothing there. Conway covered by Dimry in time again for the Bears to punt. 2nd straight 3 and out for the Bears. And they have to punt it back.
Whatever momentum the Bears gained in that initial drive and the initial 3 and out is almost gone now.
Sauerbrunn back to punt. Bobby Joe Edmonds deep for Tampa Bay from the 50. Little juggle and just happy to hang on. 38-yard punt, a 1-yard return, and well covered. Barry Minter there for Chicago. Bobby Joe Edmonds, a little juggle and good coverage downfield. Minter was right there for the stop.
And that coverage, when they're right in the receiver's face, that sometimes will cause the guy to bobble that ball.
Best field position of the day for Tampa Bay. Under 5.5 to go, first quarter. Brett inside the 40 and just shy of a Tampa Bay first down. Carrier there to make the stop.
The Bears' biggest concern today against Eric Rhett actually was the cutback play. So defensively, the Bears wanted to get upfield. They got upfield on that, but instead of cutting it back, Rhett just went north and south, and he gashed them.
2nd down and 1. 2 tight ends into the game for Tampa Bay. Again, first down and more inside the 35. Cox and Flanagan on the stop.
Defensively, the Bears like to play their 3 linebackers very tight. You see them right there, 1, 2, 3 inside the tackles. The way to counter it is send Rhett straight, as I said, north and south, but outside the tackle.
And a first down pickup. Rhett 4 carries, 16 yards here in the first quarter. Again. Theory there, but Rhett carried him for a couple. And the Tampa Bay offense looking more and more comfortable as we go along.
Well, we talked about the cutback earlier, and here we see Rhett seeing no hole to the strong side. He looks for the cutback, but Theory's there.
Carried him for a couple. 2nd down and 8. Three tight ends set for Tampa Bay. Dilfer airs it out. Finds his man inside the 20. That's Dawsey.
The Bucs created confusion with the motion, and then they got Dilfer out of the pocket away from the rush. There's Theory, 94. He's the end. Once Dilfer gets outside the end and outside the pocket, he has a clear throwing lane.
And a 15-yard pickup. 1st down from the 18. Again to the air. Another completion. Hawkins lost the football, and the Bears get it. Can you believe that? Courtney Hawkins, with no one around him, simply dropped it. And big Carl Simpson comes away with it.
Hawkins was so excited with this outstanding move, outstanding show of balance. He jukes Lincoln, keeps his feet inbounds. He's so excited. He goes one way, and then he reverses field, but the ball keeps going the other way. Carl Simpson, 98. That's a gift from heaven right there. As a defensive lineman, you're running downfield in pursuit of the ball carrier, and all of a sudden, the football's in your hand.
That's a gift from heaven for Chicago.
And then Simpson dropped it.
But for Tampa Bay, that's a crusher. Moving in, down by 3. And Hawkins just lost the handle. 1st down Bears from their 15. Green fights for about 4 yards over the right side. Pickup of 3 by Robert Green. Sam Weiss in that offense, they showed something there. They moved the ball down the field on the Bears defense, and then the freak turnover put everything to a halt.
Yeah, they really looked like they had it going.
2nd down and 7 for the Bears. Toss to Green. Robert Green down at the 45-yard line. Barney Bussey had to bring him down. What a pickup.
Well, he is just such an impressive back. And the only thing that he doesn't have is that blazing, burning speed. He's so quick, and he has great change of direction. That Eric Kramer compared him to Barry Sanders in his ability to change direction. There he is, using those feet, cuts all the way back, and then he gets in the open field. But as I said, he just doesn't have that blazing speed to beat those guys to the end zone.
From just shy of the 45-yard line. Play action to Salam. Nearly picked off Barney Bussey. Kramer looks a little off at the start here.
He does look off. He hasn't put the ball right into the receiver's hands except for that first drive.
First drive, they moved it down the field. Then they get close. A couple of overthrows in the end zone, and now only 3 out of 9 for 35 yards. Completed his first 3. Salam and Carter in the backfield. And Jennings went too soon. That's going to cost Chicago 5 yards. Referee today is Howard Rowe.
Prior to the snap, we got a false start on number 85 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And that hurts because the Bears were going to run this play. And there you see Jennings moving before anybody. The Bears were going to run that play. You can tell by the way Jennings fired off the ball. Now they're in 2nd and 15. and they really are in a passing situation. This allows the Tampa Bay defensive line to tee off and come after Eric Kramer.
Salam still in the backfield along with Carter. Kramer finds Conway. Pickup of about 6. And a 3rd and long coming up for Chicago.
I don't think Curtis Conway makes that same catch 2 years ago because the ball is thrown nicely, but he has to reach up, open up his ribs by pulling those hands up high, and then he's got 2 guys coming at him. That's a sandwich situation, and that's a situation where if you're young, inexperienced, and not confident, you don't bring that ball down.
6 defensive backs into the game for Tampa Bay. 3rd and long, and Kramer finds Graham on a slant. And the Bears pick up a fresh set of downs.
And now Kramer looks like he's back into that rhythm that he had earlier in the game. Did you say slint? I like slint because it wasn't really a slant. It wasn't a slant all the way to the inside. It was just a little inside slant. Not quite a slant, but a slint.
I think I said slant, but if I said slint, I'm happy that I did it.
Well, you got me excited anyway.
First down for Chicago, and they will talk it over. This is the end of the first quarter. They'll let it run out. After 1 quarter of play, the Bears lead the Bucs 3-0. They're on the move. They're in Tampa Bay territory.
Don't panic if the market drops a few points. Don't run for cover every time some economic indicator hiccups. Don't let short-term thinking influence your long-term investments. Buy carefully, sell reluctantly, and do business with a firm that understands that sometimes an investor's greatest asset is patience.
Smith Barney, they make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I.
From this day forward, you will be the most important part of the toughest, strongest, smartest army in the world. You will be a soldier. Where else can you be all this and earn this? $30,000 for college.
All that you can be.
Presenting the ultimate tire for your sport utility vehicle, the Michelin LTX. Michelin's technological advances in sidewall and tread design give it a smoother, quieter ride than you might ever expect from a 4x4 tire. Yet it's rugged enough, tough enough, Michelin enough to get you through anything. The LTX series from Michelin.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Start of the second quarter, and we talk about the Wannstedt factors. Keep the penalties down, keep the turnovers down, but the time of possession is the key this year.
Right. Last year, 9th in that. This year, all the way down to 28th in time of possession. That wears out your defense.
So far, they're winning that battle. They had the ball for almost 5 more minutes to Tampa Bay here at the start. Defense jumped. And we'll check the marker. Referee talks it over. We'll see who will be penalized. Looked like the Tampa Bay defense a little anxious.
Encroachment, number 73 defense. Contact prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
These Chicago Bears want to control the football, and they want to take away those dumb mistakes, the turnovers, the penalties. Dave Wannstedt is a very hands-on coach that doesn't put up with that stuff.
And so far, the 2 penalties today have been in the Bears' favor. 1 interception and 1 fumble.
First down and 5. Kramer airs it out. Magruder there with Conway, and what great coverage. Testing Magruder, and on that test, Mike Magruder passed.
Absolutely. That's a matchup that the Bears felt they could win today, win more than they lose. Play action pass to try to draw up Magruder's safety help. Magruder does not need help on this. He's with Conway all the way.
Magruder getting a chance to start. Martin Mayhew out with a knee problem. Tony Stargell out with a hip pointer. There for Tampa Bay on that play. 2nd down and 5. Salam. Met in the backfield, lost the football, and the Buccaneers get it. Salam a little spin, but he took a hit.
Boy, you can't fault Salam for that. You have to credit Hardy Nickerson, the all-pro linebacker. Watch him come through the line, keep the fullback off his feet, and now he lays the hit. And this is how you force a turnover. That's a big-time NFL hit. He hits him, and he twists his torso. That ball pops out of there.
Then you saw Lonnie March coming off the field. He came away with a fumble. So 3 turnovers. 2 in favor of the Bears. This one hurt him. From just shy of their own 34, Tampa Bay on 1st down. Eric Redd met in the backfield by Ron Cox. A Falcon update on a McDonald's game break. Here's JB in Hollywood.
All right, Joe Buck, here's a salary cap decision that backfired. Morton Anderson in a Falcons uniform beating his old mates, the Saints, his 4th career overtime game winner as the Falcons take it 27-24. Take it back to Tampa Bay. Joe Buck and Tim Green.
Tim, you and I watched that Atlanta ball club last week in San Francisco. They regrouped in a hurry.
Yeah, and I remember Morton Anderson kicking those balls the other way when I played in Atlanta, beating the Falcons.
Eric Redd bounces outside and gets to Tampa Bay 1st down.
One thing Sam White will do today, and that is come back to Eric Redd and hand him the ball time after time. Part of the strategy in the run block is the tight ends. 83, Dave Moore, he seals Vincent Smith, and he knocks Theory off 94. That's what gives Rhett the corner and the 1st down.
Kane made the stop after a pickup of 11. Little play action. Kilfer a la DeBerg. Put it on his hip and finds Dawsey. Steve DeBerg, probably the best in the league for a number of years at hiding that ball, and Dilfer put this one inside his pants.
Yeah, everybody sells the play action on this. Everybody sells the run. Dilfer tucks it down, and what he does is he bends over, then he hides it behind his back. So he hides it twice, one in his breadbasket, one behind the back, and then Dawsey really taking advantage of Jeremy Lincoln. That's the 2nd time we've seen him wide open.
Pick up of 15, a Tampa Bay 1st down, penalty flag, and a free play, it looks like, for Tampa Bay. And Eric Redd brought down by Marty Carter after he picked up close to 8 yards. It looked like the Bears jumped a little early. If that's the case, the Buccaneers will decline it and take the play.
Offside, defense, penalties decline, brings up 2nd down.
Eric Redd has rushed the ball on half of Tampa Bay's offensive plays, 8 of the 16, and Dave Wanstead feared Eric Redd and the running game for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and 2nd and short is a situation that Sam White loves because this is a time to pull out some tricks.
No trickery, just Redd for a Tampa Bay 1st down. And again, the Buccaneers on their 2nd straight possession able to take the ball and move it down the field. And Redd just did pick up a 1st down.
Whenever you see a guy picking up 1st down, you got to look to the place where he runs the ball. Mayberry 62, Beckles 62, Mayberry 61. They put the double team. Gruber on the backside gets the cutoff on Zorich, and the 1st down happens.
So on 1st and 10 with Ellison in the backfield, they hand it to Jerry. Picked up a couple, then he's thrown back by Garland Hawkins and Joe Kane.
Talk about tight ends blocking and being an important part. Ty.J. Armstrong on linebacker Ron Cox. He gets a hold of him, pushes him, pulls him, dives on top of him. He does everything there, but take away his dance card.
Second down and 8.
Didn't know those guys had dance cards.
Had absolutely no idea. Armstrong in motion, and this is Rhett. A cutback across the middle brings it across the 25.
That's a tough tackle to make right there, the way Jim Flanagan tried to make it. He tried to arm tackle Rhett, and you just don't do it because that's Rhett's strength. He's a north-south runner. He tries to get deep in his alignment, build up a big head of steam, and he just hits that line of scrimmage with a lot of strength and power.
On this drive, Tim, Tampa Bay has rushed the ball 6 times, thrown it only once. 3rd down for the Buccaneers. 3rd and 6. Gilford, incomplete to Jackie Harris.
You see Dilfer on the ground there. The Bears brought the dog on that, and you say the dog because they brought 2 of the linebackers, which a lot of teams call a dog and not necessarily a blitz. You'll see those backers coming right in the middle. Kane and Cox coming right up the middle, and then Simpson is the guy who benefits from it, breaks through, and he just gives them a little bump, which you have to do whenever you get close to the quarterback.
So Michael Husted on to try a 43-yarder, trying to tie it. Only 0 for 1 in the field goal department this year. They love him. Now know why. Husted has got a strong leg, and he showed it there from 43. Good by plenty. Time to wipe and mop the brow for Dave Wannstedt. The Buccaneers have tied the Bears. Husted good from 43, and we're 3-3 here in the first half.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light.
Your legs take a beating all day long. They shouldn't have to take one on the ride home. That's why Chevy has the most front and rear legroom of any full-size extended cab.
Oh, like a rock.
This really is nice. So when I went with Mommy and Daddy to Florida to see my grandma, we flew on an airplane that had hamburgers, milk, and cookies. That's the kind of food. You eat food? Well, it's mostly for kids, I think. But the people on the plane were very, very, very nice and gave me a puzzle book and silver little wings to wear on my sweater. I like the wings. Do you have puzzle books? And one man made my daddy laugh really, really loud. My daddy likes laughing. And we watched a movie, took naps, and talked. And it was really, really fun. My daddy flies them all the time. They're his favorite. He says they're different from the other ones because the people don't just work there. They own it. He says you can tell. Do you own this airplane? Or do you just work here? My daddy flies him so much he gets to fly for free sometimes.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Warner Brothers' new motion picture, Assassins, starting Friday, October 6th at a theater near you. And by Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide.
Kenny Gant getting them riled up here at Tampa Stadium as Michael Husted kicks it away, and a booming kick into the back of the end zone, and Michael Timpson is wise to take a knee. The first field goal of the year for Michael Husted has tied this game. And Kenny Gant and these fans in Tampa Bay are all pumped up for the Bears. Chicago has it. They're tied with Tampa Bay at 3.
How's it going?
light ice. For the taste that goes all out when you're out.
Hey! Never made it to the bar! No! No, but I found a waitress!
Miller Lite Ice. The night is young.
When I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice, I really thought it was going to be a challenge. I mean, this is a challenge. This is a sure thing. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer, protects better. Old Spice guarantees it. If you don't think it's the best, you call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of your old deodorant. So if you're looking for a real challenge, go climb a mountain. If you're looking for the best deodorant, try high endurance from Old Spice. Because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
With the Vortec engine in a Chevy S-Series, you can go around the world 4 times before you have to stop for a tune-up. Have a nice trip. Chevy trucks, like a rock.
You think this is an easy way to make a living? Look at John Theory's mouth and his lip. He's got blood coming out of his mouth because Kenny Gant brings more than his Dallas name. He brings his Dallas attitude, and he turns Theory into what looks like a test dummy. Look at that. That can really hurt a guy. But that's a legitimate legal hit. I mean, Theory's going to wipe that blood off, put the gauze in his mouth, and he'll be right back out there.
Chicago gets it back. Their last 3 possessions, 3 and out, and a fumble. Tied with Tampa Bay at 3. Robert Green. Big hit put on by John Lynch as Green got close to the 24-yard line.
John Lynch is a guy who throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He was drafted in the Major League Baseball, but he wanted to play football. His dad was an NFL player, and John Lynch told us yesterday that his dad growing up was his idol. Not because he talked about football, but because John just always knew he did it. And boy, his dad's got to be proud after that hit right there.
Big block. Kramer gets rid of it. Chidi Ahanotu in the face of Kramer took on a big block and still popped up to bother Kramer.
That's using everything you've got. That's using your total body as a defensive lineman. Chidi Ahanotu from the left-hand side gets cut by the fullback. And look at it. He just rolls. He knows that he's going down. He heaves that body in the air to try to disrupt Kramer's throwing.
And Kramer now only 5 out of 13 for 54 yards and faced with a 3rd and 6. 6 defensive backs into the game for the Buccaneers. Quick throw, Green. First down, Chicago. Across the 30, and Robert Green able to hang on. Pickup of 6 and a Chicago first down.
And there's a battle brewing at that right tackle spot between James Big Cat Williams and Chidi Ahanotu. Those guys are going back and forth. There's going to be some bruises between those 2 guys today.
Chidi has stepped it up this year. The Buccaneers are very happy with the play he's giving. And we're seeing why. First down for the Bears at their own 31. Conway. Wide open and across the 45. Spinning Charles Dimry around and picking up another 15 yards and a Bear first down.
Well, Dimry had problems last week in Cleveland against their receivers. Now Curtis Conway. Conway knows. He watches film. He knows that Dimry's going to give the receiver a bigger cushion than a lot of other quarterbacks in the league. And Conway wants to come out here and take advantage of it.
From the 45, their own 45, first down for Chicago. Salam. We talked about this in week 1, Tim. It just looks like Salam is going to be the kind of back that it's going to be difficult to bring him down behind the line of scrimmage, let alone even at the line of scrimmage. He just brings everybody with him.
Yeah, because he's got the full package, the strength and the speed, and there's Rusty Tillman right there, again, the guy without the headsets, he's concerned about Salam. And you know what? He hasn't even seen Salam's speed. We have yet to see Salam run the ball outside.
Here you go. First down, Chicago. You toss it to Rashaan Salam, give him a little space, and use the speed.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the first time we've seen it. It will not be the last time we see it. It's a simple toss play. But when you've got an outstanding back like Salam, who's able to use speed and acceleration, pick his way through the hole, and then lower his shoulder on John Lynch to pick up 2 extra yards, you toss the ball to him.
You know what I like about Salam? Instead of just stringing it out and getting around everybody, he found a hole and he cut upfield.
Yeah, Ron Turner loves this guy's ability. Any Bears fan would.
6 carries for Salam, 23 yards. Now he's down inside the 40, and a penalty flag flies as Salam lost his helmet. And I wonder if the penalty flag has to do with Salam losing his helmet. Maybe somebody got a hold of his face mask, and Salam is still down.
Yeah, and boy, as a coach, Dave Wannstedt's stomach is churning right now, because that's the last thing you want to do is see the guy who's going to be your franchise player down on the field with his helmet laying out there in the grass.
Give you another look at Salam, who will lose his helmet.
Todrick McIntyre is the guy who gives him the shot with the arm, but then Hardy Nickerson is the one who lays on that blow that knocks the helmet free. Hardy Nickerson is just a big-time hitter.
They've called a personal foul on Tampa Bay. 15 more yards for the Bears. They're moving in again.
A tough assassin wants out, another wants in. But to be number one, he must eliminate the competition. Sylvester Stallone, Antonio Banderas, Assassins, directed by Richard Donner. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 6th.
If a car and truck rental company could see things from your point of view, it would offer one of the most diverse selections of vehicles on the planet and service that rises far above your expectations. Well, one company is seeing things your way. Budget, with a renewed commitment to satisfy you with special offers like this. Rent a Ford Aspire for a 3-day weekend for only $69. Call your travel agent or Budget at 800-527-0700. Budget, all the difference in the world.
This is L.A.
We have tons of friends.
This is Tosh. This is my wife. This is my neighbor. This is my son-in-law. This is my very good neighbor. This is my number 2 daughter. Hi. This is my neighbor, John.
When I found out that I needed surgery, it was kind of a shock.
Luckily, it turned out.
Aflac really helped protect our savings. Just really took the worry away.
Aflac covers the unexpected costs of getting better so you can get on with life.
Don is definitely not a dancer.
There are many steps to becoming a Fox NFL Sunday master. You have learned discipline. But this next step, you must take on your own. The sight of Bradshaw-san without makeup. What a wuss.
Next Sunday, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Well, I was completely wrong on that last play. It wasn't Nickerson's big hit that hurt Salam and took his helmet off. It was Nickerson, and there he is right there, pulling Salam's helmet off. Watch him with his right hand. That is vicious, dangerous, and awful. Nickerson should be out of the game. I promise you, he's going to get a hefty fine from the league this week in his locker.
It's a good thing that Salam's chin strap gave a bit, and the helmet came off so easily as Green gets it to the 20 on first down. It's a good thing that that helmet popped off his head.
And hey, I'm an ex-defensive player and I love big hits, but that is just flat out wrong to grab a guy's helmet and twist his head like that, hurting his neck. I mean, you're right. If Salam's chin strap doesn't break, his neck could have.
From the 20, second down and 7. 2 tight ends into the game for Chicago. To the corner of the end zone, ain't nothing there. And again, it's Magruder, step for step with Conway.
And again, Kramer's on the ground because Chidi Ahanatu is in the backfield.
Eric Kramer has seen a lot of big number 72 this afternoon. And a 3rd and 7 coming up as 6 D-backs check into the game for Tampa Bay, and Ahanatu will take a rest.
Well, the only reason I can think for taking a Hanatu out is to give him a breather, because, gosh, so far he's been the best on the Tampa Bay's defensive line today.
3rd and 7. Kramer is hit, incomplete. And you name it, they were there. Dotson, Curry, big pressure up front by the Tampa Bay front four.
Well, it's Santana Dotson who gets the bulk of this, and it's a stunt between him, Culpepper, and Curry. Culpepper and Curry slant it, crash it down. Dotson comes around the outside free.
And Butler will try it again. 37-yard field goal try. He's perfect today. 2 for 2. And the Bears regain the lead. But if the Bears thought they had a day off coming into Tampa Bay, they now know they have their hands full with the 1995 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Butler is good again, and the Bears lead by 3.
Our German engineers could have road tested the new Porsche 911 Carrera 4 back home in Germany. They could have taken the 270 horsepower engine out on the Autobahn again, or driven the Black Forest with the all-wheel drive and radical suspension. They could have done all that back home. But then, they wouldn't have gotten all this neat stuff.
Look, you're not going to believe this, but Goodyear retailers have lowered prices. An amazing 25% on some of Goodyear's most popular passenger, light truck, and performance tires. Other sale prices start at $19.99. Hurry, this sale ends soon.
Take the heat out of shaving with new Old Spice Soothing Gel. It'll cool the burn, soothe your skin, it'll make your face feel great. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT for a full refund. So try new Soothing Gel, because now you've got proof. Guaranteed.
Did Apu shoot Mr. Burns?
Turn in your pricing gun. Other one, too.
Find out on The Simpsons season premiere tonight on Fox.
There will be a lot of new shows coming to television this fall.
The Telos colony was mastered by an advanced alien civilization.
But one will blow everything else away.
You see everything as life or death.
I've seen these things we're at war with. What for? 9 o'clock.
I'm going in.
Space Above and Beyond. The legend begins next Sunday.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Porsche. There is no substitute.
Todd Sauerbrunn ready to kick it away for Chicago. Bobby Joe Edmonds deep for Tampa Bay, and the Bears lead by 3. Side-to-side kick. Edmonds will take it from just outside his 10 and get it to about the 18-yard line. Critics call it suspenseful, exhilarating, and terrifying. Get ready, you're just 5 days away from the season premiere of the program that's become more than just a television show. It's a national phenomenon. The X-Files, Friday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on Fox.
Every time you do that promo, I get this voice in my ear that says, I'm telling you, Tim, you got to watch this show.
You got to watch this show.
It's our producer, Mike Burks. He loves it.
First down for the Buccaneers from their own 18. Flanagan may have jumped, and Rhett gets nothing. Looked like Flanagan was a little anxious, and this might cost the Bears defense 5.
Well, he was a little anxious, but if they get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into a passing situation, I think you're going to see him with some sacks.
Number 99 defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
They're playing with only 6 defensive linemen today in the rotation because Al Fontenot is out. But Flanagan's the kind of guy who's normally playing on special teams. He's playing on offense, so he's got the juice to play the whole game.
First down and 5 now after the offside penalty. Rhett, nothing. And a big hit put on by Ron Cox.
You talk about Flanagan. Cox looks like he's hurt. He put the big hit on, but sometimes you put that big hit on, you're the guy that gets hurt. But let's take a look at Flanagan. He gets the double team, 2 guys. He does an excellent job of splitting up between the double team, getting a push, and giving Rhett absolutely nowhere to go. This guy Flanagan is going to be a major talent in this league, not only because he can play defense. He's got 3 sacks on the season already. Dave Wannstedt loves him, but he plays special teams, and he's in part of the goal line package on the Bears offense, taking over for the Fridge, running the ball, blocking, but more importantly and differently than the Fridge, he's playing a receiver.
He can do just about everything on a football field, including kick the football. Played at Notre Dame. Father played for Green Bay, a cover boy of sorts, and for Chicago on Monday night. Little lead block, helping Salam get into the end zone. And then we all know what he did later as Kramer found him. And Flanagan, they say he catches every ball backhanded like that, but they're not going to mess with him.
Yeah, he backhands that ball, which is a very difficult, skillful way to catch the ball. I think he's the Fridge of the 90s. He's an appliance for the 90s, and as such, I'd like to call him mainframe.
Being a computer 90s mainframe.
Exactly. Watch these hands. This is a sophisticated, high-tech unit here. Look at him. Those hands are backward. That's a difficult catch even for a receiver. Yes, mainframe. He's big, he's strong, but he's versatile. You like it?
I love it. Ron Cox checks out. Barry Minter is into the game. Keep watching 99 this afternoon. He's fun to watch.
The mainframe.
2nd down and 4. Dilfer play action, finds Moore, his tight end, and on just his 2nd catch of the year, he picks up a Buccaneer 1st down. Vincent Smith there on the stop.
I know Moore looks like a linebacker there, but at Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, he was the 7th all-time leading receiver with 89 career receptions. So this is another big guy who can catch the ball.
And even with a guy like Jackie Harris on the club, Sam Weiss will tell you Dave Moore might have the best hands of any tight end he has. 1st down. High formation, they're going deep. And Dilfer is sacked. They're not going deep, and there's big number 99, the mainframe. Punch it up, dial up another sack.
Oh, yes, because he can do it all. He's got the speed, he's got the power, and this one is just an excellent move against Charles McCray in the middle of the field, and he uses those hands to hang on. And he gets out. Look at him. Rips right past McCray. And then here's the skill level. He's got those great hands. He uses it there to hang on to Trent Dilfer. A lot of other defensive linemen let loose, and Dilfer gets free.
Loss of 3 on the sack, and for Flanagan, his 4th of the year. 2nd down and 13. Dilfer looking for help. Picked up a couple.
That's excellent speed by Carl Simpson, 98. You see him there. He is a big defensive lineman. He was running foot for foot with Trent Dilfer, a skilled, quick quarterback. Watch him coming right down the line. Dilfer's got nowhere to go, but Simpson's behind him, but he runs even with him and forces him out of bounds. You talk about team speed, defensive speed. There's an example of it.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers faced with 3rd and 12 will call a timeout and talk it over. Trent Dilfer told us yesterday, you know, guys, this game is on in Fresno, California. Say hi to everybody back home. So from Trent Dilfer, hi.
It's always nice when your hometown is watching. Players know it and they like it.
Alvin Harper is not available today.
Sam Weiss really believes, and I believe too, once Alvin Harper is back, it's going to really give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a 1-2 knockout punch, or maybe a 1-2-3, because they like Horace Copeland as a receiver. Everyone knows what Jackie Harris can do, but Harper is no doubt the man.
He was the top free agent wide receiver available. And to add legitimacy to this new ownership group, they were in support while they were taking over of signing Alvin Harper away from Dallas. What an athlete. He is big, Tim, and he ought to be an enormous weapon for Trent Dilfer to find downfield. That big body, 6'4", 218.
That's right. Big is his biggest asset. Right now, though, he's struggling with that sore ankle.
3rd and 12 and 6 defensive backs. The dime package into the game for the Bears. From the 25. Dilfer overshoots Lamar Thomas. And Thomas takes a big hit from his former friend, Marty Carter.
When you come home, you want nothing more than as Marty Carter did, than to lay a big hit on an ex-teammate.
Marty Carter, last year, second on this Tampa Bay club with 93 tackles, a big hitter at a safety spot, and Dave Wanstead beams when you talk about Marty Carter. Reggie Roby back to punt. Decent punt, not much hang, and Graham on the return from inside his 20. Forced out of bounds to the 23, and who else?
Kenny Gant.
Kenny Gant.
You can't put one guy on Gant.
TV Guide says the new Fox drama, Strange Luck, is cool and seductive. The X-Files couldn't ask for a better lead-in. Catch a brand new episode of Strange Luck Friday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right before the season premiere of the X-Files. That's on Friday.
And I know you'll be watching that one because of your new friendship with D.B. Sweeney.
That's right. He was with us during a preseason game. Good guy.
Wonderful guy. Good show.
Each team left with a couple of timeouts. 2 each side, and the Bears have it. First down from their own 23. Setting up a screen to Robert Green. Well, you say he doesn't have speed, but he got to the sideline into the first down marker pretty darn quick. Forced out of bounds right at the stick.
This time, Derek Brooks for the Bucs was still there. He was out. He read the screen, but the Bears offensive lineman knew he was coming. They had him pegged this time because of the last play. This time they blocked him. They gave Green the corner, and you're right. Green showed some speed. He proven me wrong.
Just did pick up a first down, so a fresh set for the Bears. Green on the ground. Not much, brought down, and immediately Hardy Nickerson there. And as I say Nickerson, I'm reminded of Rashaan Salam, who we haven't seen since Nickerson ripped the helmet off his head.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe it settled him down. Maybe he feels bad about it. You talk about big hits. 47, John Lynch, that's his specialty. And here he comes right at Robert Green and knocks Green off of his feet.
Amazing for a guy who used to be a quarterback at Stanford. He just wanted to get on the field. He asked for the switch to safety, and he was starting the next week.
You thought quarterbacks were all nice guys.
Second down for Chicago. Kramer steps up. Wide open is Timpson. His second catch of the season and brought down inside the Tampa Bay 45. We are at the 2-minute warning. Rashaan Salam is a Heisman Trophy winner. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Only 5 Heisman Trophy winners have rushed for more than 1,000 yards in an NFL rookie season. Can you name them? Wait with bated breath. We'll be back.
And now for something new. It's Cooking with Terry and Howard.
First, you need to get a very large bowl and 1 bag of Lay's potato chips. Now, gently pour into bowl and let stand for 4 to 5 seconds.
Here's one I prepared earlier. I, on the other hand, like to experiment a little more than our friend Terry here. I recommend a bag of Wavy Lays.
Next week's show, how to pour beer. For today's recipe, write the Lay's and Wavy Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't eat just one.
The legendary Nürburgring. It sounds crazy, but they let anyone drive on this world-famous racetrack for just a few Deutschmarks. It was here that Porsche engineers tested our new 911 Turbo. Lap after lap of the new 400-horsepower engine, the twin turbos, the liquid all-wheel drive. What did we learn? Well, don't send a German engineer here with an ATM card.
On
on Fox NFL Sunday. It's doubleheader action when the Chicago Bears and Heisman Trophy winner Rashaan Salam face off against the Rams. Then, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin lead the Cowboys' attack against the Cardinals. It all begins next Sunday, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
With the presence of Rashaan Salam, we asked the question. Here's the answer. The Heisman Trophy winners who have rushed for more than 1,000 yards in a rookie season. You see the names heading the list. George Rogers, only 5 to rush for 1,000 yards in their rookie year. And you kind of compare Rashaan Salam to the way Rogers ran the ball.
Well, they run the ball very similarly, straight up and down, and good moves through the line, but then at the last minute, lower the shoulder and bang it out for about 4 more. Salam does the same thing Rogers did.
We haven't seen him since he had the helmet ripped off his head by Nickerson, but evidently all right. Kramer, little draw, handoff to Green, and he finds his way to the 35-yard line.
Well, I agree with Eric Kramer and the comparison to Barry Sanders, not as a total back, but just in the quick feet that Robert Green shows when he moves through that scrum of players. He just does that little dance and breaks loose.
Bears have 2 timeouts remaining. Kramer under a heavy rush, airs it out. Conway can't make the catch. And he banged bodies with Magruder downfield. Clifton Abraham also there. And it was Abraham and Lynch there on the coverage.
You hear the crowd booing in the background. I don't know how Conway does not draw an offensive pass interference on that play. He's running even. Watch his hands. He just shoves him. He just shoves Abraham and gets himself open. I know he doesn't catch it, but you have to wonder who was watching that and why they didn't throw the flag.
Tampa Bay has to spend a timeout. They're left with only 1. The Bears have 2. And with under a minute and a half to go here in the first half, the Bears have it leading by 3. And a 3rd down coming up for Chicago, 3rd and short. Next week, it's a Fox doubleheader. Most of you will see Jerome Bettis and the St. Louis Rams, they're undefeated this year, take on the Bears. Followed by Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys facing Buddy Ryan's Arizona Cardinals. It all starts with a pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. Well, this place is packed. And here at Tampa Stadium, they've had a total of 14 sellouts. 6 of them have been against Chicago, and it's well publicized that there are a lot of retired Chicagoans down here in the area. They come to watch their Bears, and they come to Tampa Bay. You get the feeling, Tim, excuse me, that there will be a little more fervor down here to come out and watch the Buccaneers this season.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a heightened rivalry.
Kramer to throw. 3rd and short. The tight end and a first down at the 25. That's wet night. And we still haven't seen Gedney, who hasn't caught a ball all year. And the Bears will spend 1 of their 2 remaining timeouts.
Well, Gedney is out on the field, and you saw Wet Night limping a little bit as he goes off. And there it is right there.
Thomas Everett there on the stop.
So Everett, another big hitting safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He and Lynch back there pack a powerful punch. He pulls that in and catches the shoulder pad right on his thigh. A lot of times that'll give you a contusion.
Tim, you know what's coming up? The Dockers halftime. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have all the scores and highlights from week 3 of this NFL season. That's coming up on the Dockers halftime.
Now I know.
6-3, the Bears out in front. 1:15 to go, and each team left with 1 timeout.
This has really shaped up so far, the first half, to be a big defensive battle. And we've seen some flashes on offense from both Tampa Bay and Chicago, but the best play so far has come on the defensive side of the ball.
And there have been 3 total turnovers, 2 by Tampa Bay. First down from the 26. Kramer to the sideline, and he finds Conway. And another Bears first down. They have plenty of time now down inside the 15-yard line with a minute to go and 1 timeout remaining.
Kramer got outstanding protection on that last play from his offensive line. They just seized it up there in the middle and gave him plenty of time.
First down for Chicago inside the Tampa Bay 15. On the slant, Timpson brought down at the 5, short of a first down. And Timpson brings in his 2nd catch of the day, his 3rd of the year. Pickup of 8. Under half a minute to go. But remember, the Bears do have 1 timeout left. Kramer to the back of the end zone, incomplete. Magruder was there on Jeff Graham.
Kramer saw his guys were covered up. He knows he's got 2 more downs. He wants to stop the clock, throws it away.
Well, those guys on Monday night had their guy. We got our own. Kramer throws to the end zone, and it's not a guy that, it's a Buccaneer. That swashbuckling guy. 3rd and short coming up for Chicago. I think the guy on Monday night was a little better.
Yeah, now do we have to go down and interview this guy?
No.
Good.
3rd and short. End zone incomplete. Clifton Abraham there with a coverage. And Butler and Wanstead talk it over, and here comes the field goal unit.
And Conway wants a penalty because, look, Abraham right around his waist, slowing him up, not enabling him to get free in the end zone, and Kramer, again, has to throw it away, but it's the smart thing for Kramer to do.
And Butler, who's 2 for 2 today, will try one. The ball placed down in between the 12 and 13-yard line. We'll call it a 22-yarder. Butler's been perfect all year. 3 for 3 today, 5 for 5 on the year. They don't get a lot of publicity. They don't get a ton of money, but they're valuable, and it's been the kickers that have put the points on the board today. The Bears now lead by 6. 9-3 in a battle between the Bears and Bucks, Husted and Butler.
And you talk about it being a defensive battle, and no better way of knowing that than only seeing field goals go up on the scoreboard, because it means both defenses are just keeping that end zone safe.
Which is a little surprising in that the Bears, you would think, coming in, and Chicago in the red zone 0 for 3 with regard to punching it in for 6. They've had to come away with 3 field goals. Tim, the cornerbacks for Sam Weish have really stepped up today. And don't forget that good pass rush for the Buccaneers.
They have. You're right. The corners have picked it up and played well. And then the pass rush has affected Eric Kramer at times.
They say the best pass defense is a good pass rush. And this Tampa Bay defense has been working today. Kenny Gant and this Tampa Bay kickoff return team getting ready to take the kick from Todd Sauerbrunn. After that 11-play drive covering 72 yards. Bobby Joe Edmonds from inside his 5. Brought down at the 24. And we have time for one more play here at the end of the first half. Myron Baker there on the stop of Bobby Joe Edmonds.
And when you have Trent Dilfer's arm and Horace Copeland's speed, why not? Why not just gun for it?
So one more snap and 1 half of play. The home opener here at Tampa Stadium will be complete. Dilfer 5 out of 11. Not terrific. 1 interception. But remember that strange, mysterious fumble by Courtney Hawkins earlier in the first half, which really hurt the Buccaneers' drive. Put it to an end, and Tampa Bay hasn't been able to punch it into the end zone so far. They hand it off, so the Buccaneers are content with a 6-point deficit at half. The end of the first half with a score, the Bears 9, the Bucks 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers halftime after this message and a word from your local station.
Not since Jurassic Park has the world witnessed an event so terrifying. Tonight, Al Bundy's mother-in-law is moving in.
She's distraught.
She is humongous.
Don't miss the biggest premiere of the season.
I want you to help me give Mom a sit back.
Can't we have sex instead?
Married with Children.
Oh, she blows!
Season premiere tonight at 9, 8 Central on the new Fox Sunday nights.
Divas World Premiere Tuesday.
Well, you're some impressive statistics. Escort has been the best-selling small car 14 years in a row. Also, Ranger has been the best-selling compact pickup the past 8 years running. Now, when you win that big that often, there's some darn good reasons. And you can bet that your local Southern Ford dealer knows a whole bunch of them, too.
Get cash back or low APR on Ford Ranger or Ford Escort only at your local Southern Ford dealer.
Now, that's impressive.
Lazy days let the good times roll. Lazy days.
Get your good times rolling today in a new Holiday Rambler Navigator from Lazy Days. That's an invitation to step aboard and make yourself at home. Come on, take command of the open road. There's a Holiday Rambler that's right for you and ready to roll at Lazy Days, the official RV dealer of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Get more from $1. And rent a 4x4 for less with the versatile Jeep Cherokee at Dollar Rent-A-Car. Low rates on the cars you want. Start with $1 and get a mini rate on a minivan like the roomy Dodge Caravan at Dollar Rent-A-Car. Low rates on the cars you want.
For sports highlights, call 13 in touch.
Time is brought to you by Dockers Khakis, proud makers of nice pants.
All right, and welcome to the Dockers Halftime, along with Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown. The game you're watching right now, Tampa Bay and Chicago, a battle of field goals. The Bears holding to a 6-point lead at the half in that one. Washington and Denver playing in Mile High. A little bit of excitement for this game, but it's been Denver looking good. Washington looked good here.
You bet. Washington. This is Brian Mitchell, 36 yards. This is a touchdown. 7-3 at this point. Washington up by 4 over the Broncos. And then Terrell, look at that 6-yard touchdown run. Now, this is ruled a touchdown, but he clearly has lost the ball on about the 2-yard, JB. They go ahead and give it to him right now, 24-14, Broncos leading.
Little home field cooking there helped with that 10-point lead for the Broncos. Earlier, New York Giants and Green Bay, Dan Reeves let you know what's coming up.
Everything happened for Green Bay in the first half. Favre in the corner. Mark Ingram, touchdown pass number 6 on the year for Brett Favre. He leads the league. Comes back, finds Brooks in the corner of the end zone, who makes a great reception. Tip, there it is. 14-6 at this point. As you see, Green Bay holds on to this football game. Dan Reeves gambles later on in the fourth with 3 minutes left. Onside kick. They fail to recover with 3 timeouts left. There's your final.
Giants offense with only 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. Arizona and Detroit, these guys are asking who's going to win the first game of the season.
Well, first of all, after 803 carries without a fumble recovered, this is the guy that Barry Sanders. He goes around the left side, 47 yards at this point. Detroit up 17-6. They'll give away this lead as Anthony Edwards with a 24-yard David Craig reception. Arizona wins this football game 20-17. And they got a tough schedule left with San Francisco, Cleveland, and Green Bay. That is the Lions as they lose this football game to start 0-3, JB.
Lions led at 17-6. They're asking for Wayne's head. Some of the fans were. St. Louis and Carolina. Boy, the Rams looking impressive. 31-10, forced 7 turnovers in that game. New England and San Francisco. Parcells keeping it close with tough defense in spite of ineffectiveness by Bledsoe in the first half. 49ers lead it by 4. Atlanta and New Orleans, 2 quarterbacks who had a shootout.
That's right. Jim Everett getting up early on this score. Early to Quinn Early. 70-yard TD reception, longest of his career. As the Saints at this point are up by 4, 7-0. But back George, hands off. Haywood over. Go for 2, ties the ball game up 24. Then Morton Anderson, who last year kicked the winning field goal for the Saints with 3 seconds left, kicks it this time for the Falcons as they beat the Saints 27-24.
3 division losses for New Orleans, not helping matters at all. Oakland and Kansas City, you knew it would be a battle there as well.
Hasty makes a quick interception. Overtime. Chiefs. Oh, Howie, you got to love that red as they go on to upset the Raiders, as Howie would think.
23-17, and a great ball game.
8 straight wins for the Chiefs over the Raiders. Al Davis, yes, indeed, feeling the same way that big boy Howie Long is feeling in the studio. 23-17, the final there. San Diego and Philadelphia, Ray Rose intent on getting a better playing quarterback. Randall did look good except here.
Now there's a pass. Williams fumbles. Ball scooped up by Junior Seau. He'll return this 29 yards for the Charger touchdown. His first touchdown recovery of a fumble in his career. A good day by Cunningham, who threw 3 touchdown passes. Not enough as the Chargers on the road, 27-21 over the Eagles.
Special teams helped the Chargers. Andre Coleman, 208 return yards in that one. Buffalo and Indianapolis, not a good day by Kelly, but the Bills win it anyway, 20-14. And Cleveland and Houston, Vinny Testaverde, not a bad day, Terry, 177 yards, not great on the connect percentage, but the Browns win it 14-7 over Houston. Seattle and Cincinnati, that one at half. The Seahawks looking for their first victory, leading by 10 at the half. And Jacksonville and the Jets, boy, the Jets are hoping desperately for a victory, looking for the first. They lead at 13-3 in that one. And Jimmy, as we talk about Chicago, again, the battle of field goals right now in this one.
Yeah, they're just going back and forth. The thing that I do like about Chicago is their rushing attack. Robert Green's rushed for about 9 carries for about 60 yards, and then they bring in Salam. Even though Salam got banged up a little bit, he's going to be a fine back. They've got a good running game in Chicago.
All right, a good running back in Chicago indeed, and we've got a lot more coming your way as Fox NFL halftime continues after this.
Fox presents a Simpsons Sunday Spectacular. First, see the season finale that shocked a nation. Then join John Walsh and celebrity experts for a look at who shot Mr. Burns on Springfield's Most Wanted. Then it's the mystery you've waited all summer long to solve. And you won't believe who the culprit is.
But I could never shoot someone. Could not.
As far as Daddy's concerned, you're both potential murderers.
On the season premiere of The Simpsons. It all begins tonight at 7/6 Central on Fox.
I was born on the south side of Chicago. I was an only child raised in a single-parent family by my mother, Zora.
He's Chris Zorich of the Chicago Bears.
My talents have brought me great rewards, but I want to give something back to the Chicago community to honor my mother, Zora's memory for all the love and caring she gave to me. Today, I support and create programs to help people in Chicago, working with United Way agencies and programs like Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I take children on special events from orphanages and provide them with Christmas gifts. I also play Santa Claus. Last year, United Way allocated more than $9 million to over 130 agencies in the Chicago community, providing 500,000 children with positive choices, such as scouting, Boys and Girls Club, and after-school activities. United Way funded programs provide young people with the alternative to gangs.
United Way, reaching those who need help, touching us all. Yeah! 9-3 Bears at the start of the second half. We're minutes away from that. While we wait for it, we remind you that this is Leroy Selman Day here at Tampa Stadium. Leroy Selman Day. Leroy Selman, the first Buccaneer player ever inducted into Pro Football's Hall of Fame. Played from 1976 to 1984. Their first pick, 6-time Pro Bowler, 78.5 sacks. And it's only his number 63 that has been retired by the Buccaneers. Earlier this week, presented with the key to the city from Tampa, Florida, and moments ago, received his ring from Pete Elliott of the National Football League. What a day, what a player, what a neat time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise. We'll return to Tampa Stadium for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
No, I sent 3. 1, 2, 3. I got them right here. Oh, the hutch has a 3-way hinge. Okay, now your fingers are pointing up, you're wiggling them? Are your palms up? Just flap and lock, flap and lock. Now, not your thumbs.
In the everyday world, you often have to explain yourself to others.
Are you flapping?
Now look at page 2. With the world-class network from GTE,
I like that.
you simply show them.
What if we switch the pages?
Change the way you work. Change the way you live. It's amazing what you can do with the world-class network from GTE.
Ah, an invitation from Steak and Ale to sample 3 signature sauces with 1 tender grilled filet. a rich brandy peppercorn sauce, our savory Cabernet wine sauce, along with a mellow sherry mushroom sauce. What an intriguing idea. A signature steak with multiple personalities. The Filet Sensation Sampler. Take advantage of it now for a limited time at Steak and Ale.
Toyota's Once-A-Thon is back. Big clearance deals for you that only happen once a year. With hundreds of Toyotas to choose from, you can't miss. This is the clearance event above all the rest, and now is the time to get into a Camry. Save up to $1,000 with incentives when you buy or lease Camry now. Or choose Corolla and save up to $1,700 when you buy. That includes $1,000 cash back. For once-a-year clearance deals, Once-A-Thon is the best time to save.
で、お子さんたち新しいコンピューター気に入ったの？
それがまだ立ち上げてないんだ。何しろ僕は不器用なもんでね。
うちじゃアクティバがみんなに大人気。IBM のホームコンピューター、CD ラムがついてて、ソフトもいっぱいあるし、箱から出してすぐ使えるようになってるんですよ。
単位でもセットアップできるってわけ？
腕はいらないのよ。
Sports Sunday, tonight at 10:30 on TBT 13.
9-3 Chicago. 9-3 Chicago at the half, getting ready for the start of the third quarter. Chicago run game today, 17 carries, 88 yards, and that offensive line has done a fantastic job up front. James Big Cat Williams, a big part of it. I guess that's his own personal way of getting pumped up for the second half. My partner Tim Green, an author. Another chapter in Tim Green's book on this week. It's on Big Cat.
The book on James Williams is that he didn't play football until his junior year in high school when his coach suggested he trade in his basketball for a pair of shoulder pads. Could move. He made the Bears roster as a free agent defensive lineman out of little-known Cheney State. Then in 1992, he saw the light when he volunteered to replace injured offensive tackle Keith Van Horn during practice. The coaches liked what they saw, and the white jersey in his locker the next morning let Big Cat know that he was part of the offense for good. But he still makes good use of those basketball skills, like when he blocked this shot to win the game against Miami a year ago.
Big Cat getting ready for the second half, as are we. And Tim Green, that run blocking, and really the entire offensive line for the Chicago Bears is young, but very solid.
Well, and Big Cat being a former defensive player, the run blocking is going to be a much more natural thing for him to do as an offensive lineman because it's the more aggressive type of running. And there you see that a lot of the Bears running right up the middle of the field, 10 carries for 43 yards. And you know whenever you have that kind of surge, you're putting it behind some big bodies. And Big Cat is about as big a body as you can imagine. But think about him in high school. He said in high school he was really just a tall, skinny kid. And you look at the size of him now, I can't even imagine him being a tall, skinny basketball player.
That tattoo on his left arm used to just be the size of a quarter, but it's all stretched out and washed down. We're ready to go. Start of the second half here at Tampa Stadium. Todd Sauerbrunn ready to kick it away for the Bears, and hopefully we'll have as good a second half as we did a first half. The Chicago Bears will kick it to Tampa Bay, and we'll get an early read on what the Buccaneers talked about at the half for the offense and what their plan of attack is here in the second half. Sauerbrunn gets rid of it. Bobby Joe Edmonds from inside his 10. Had a lane, and he's slammed down by Baker as he crossed the 25-yard line. 19-yard return by Bobby Joe Edmonds, and in the total yard department, Tim, dominated by the Bears.
Yes, you see that the Bears offense is dominated 227 to 100 for the Bucs. And then you look at time of possession down here. That's a big victory for the Bears because it kept their defense fresh and off the field. And this here was part of the reason for the 100 yards for the Tampa Bay offense.
1st and 10 for Trent Dilfer and the Bucs. From just outside their own 25. A little toss to Rhett. Looking for the sideline and well handled by Mark Carrier. Good play coming up from the safety spot.
We saw the Buccaneers try to run Rhett to the sideline in the first half, and it didn't work. And now we see him coming out in the second half trying to do it. It doesn't work, and it's not going to because of that Bears defensive speed, the linebackers and the linemen. Remember Carl Simpson chasing down Dilfer? Those guys can get to the sideline just as fast as a running back.
2nd down and 8 after a pickup of only a couple. First possession of the second half. And Dilfer to throw. To the sideline, finds Hawkins, and he is knocked out of bounds right at the first down marker by Ron Cox. Ron Cox, the linebacker, out there on Hawkins.
There's more speed by Ron Cox getting out to the sideline, but that's a mismatch that Sam Weish loves. When you can lock a linebacker like Cox onto a wide receiver like Courtney Hawkins, the wide receiver is almost always going to win that foot race.
3rd down and 1. Hawkins just shy of a first down. Boy, that hurts. That hurts as the left guard, Charles McCray, left a little early, and instead of 3rd and 1, it'll be 3rd and 6.
You know what that tells you when a guy jumps off sides like that? It tells you that
We got a false start on number 70 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
It tells you that the guy is concerned about the guy who he's across. He's thinking more about the block that he has to make than about the snap count.
So a big loss of 5 and a 3rd and 6. And the ball sitting just outside the Tampa Bay 30.
Yeah, I'll get on here.
Dilfer picked off. Lincoln down inside the 10. And the 3rd Tampa Bay turnover of the day.
Trent Dilfer went after Jeremy Lincoln one too many times. In the first half, we saw Lincoln with the big cushion. We saw Lincoln giving up some big pass plays. This time, Lincoln steps right in front of the receiver, right in front of Dawsey, and makes the big play. You can do that. You can lull a quarterback to sleep, make him think that you're going to give him the cushion, and then he makes Dilfer turn into a defensive player. And Dilfer actually does clip Lincoln's feet to bring him down.
It's actually Horace Copeland, the intended receiver. Dilfer made the stop. Green gets the touchdown. That's Robert Green's first touchdown of the year. That didn't take long.
No, and that's the way to do it, too. You get the turnover brings you close, you strike fast.
So the first touchdown of the day belongs to Chicago. And Butler on to tack on the extra point. A one-play drive. They handed it to Robert Green. He got into the end zone for the first time today, for the first time of the year. And right behind Big Cat Williams, one play and the first touchdown of the day. Robert Green punches it in. The Bears add to their lead. And here at the start of the second half, they lead by 13.
When they were small, we had a little sports car.
And then they got bigger, so we had to get a four-door.
So we leased a new Volkswagen Jetta, $199 a month. Nice, huh? The German-engineered front-wheel drive Jetta comes with rack and pinion steering, daytime running lights, dual airbags. It's a great driving car.
It's got a big back seat.
And a huge trunk.
Weimaraners come from Germany.
Maybe that's why they like driving so much.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
And now for something new. It's Cooking with Terry and Howard.
First, you need to get a very large bowl and 1 bag of Lay's potato chips. Now, gently pour into bowl and let stand for 4 to 5 seconds. Here's one I prepared earlier.
I, on the other hand, like to experiment a little more than our friend Terry here. I recommend a bag of Wavy Lays.
Next week's show, how to pour beer. For today's recipe, write the Lay's and Wavy Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't eat just one.
Put more than denim in every pair of Levi's jeans.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Coors Light. Shipped cold to preserve the clean taste of the Rockies. Coors Light, tap the Rockies. By Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by Mylanta, the antacid doctors recommend most. My doctor said Mylanta.
Sauerbrunn kicks it to Bobby Joe Edmonds, and he is hammered by Dwayne Joseph and dropped at the 22-yard line. Robert Green from 7 yards out, a 1.